Kenjige, who's predominantly batted most of his career for USA at probably 9, 10 or even 11. So, a bit of a wild card, a bit of a joker in the deck here from Jagadish Arun Kumar, the new USA head coach. He's going to send out one spinner to face another. And Kenjige will get off the mark at the punch down. 2 long ons. He's going to keep the strike. It's 97 for 3. So Sushan Bari is going to continue. And yeah, real interesting decision this. Would have spent a lot of his career batting down at number 10 or 11. Not Kenjige, certainly improving with the bat. But he's been sent in, and I wonder what his role is. I don't think it'll be to pinch hit. I wonder will it be just to work the ball around, try and take overs out of these spinners. Of course, no Lamachani on. If Lamachani was on, he could have been almost sent in as a bit of a something you don't see often in a one-day international, a bit of a de facto night watchman. He'll certainly be quick between the wickets. Highly athletic, very energetic, brilliant fielder. Watch him and Kareem Agor in the second innings go about their work. They'll predominantly be at backward point and cover. Yeah, the young left-arm spinner Kenjige, born in Auburn, Alabama. 30 years of age now. Feels certainly younger than that, but coming into today, an ODI high score of 6 not out. So that'll give you a bit of a sense as to just how big a wild card that was as the 100 comes up in the 24th over. Is added to with a wide down the leg side. He's only faced 15 balls in one-day international cricket before today, and even in List A cricket where he's played 28 games. Only a high score there of 14 not out. So big opportunity for him today. 24 overs gone. The 100 comes up. It's 102 for 3. Kushal Malla into the attack, or returns in the attack from the pavilion end, excuse me. And he's going to continue with this trial by left arm spin. How will Nepal rotate their bowlers here? That's the question. And take a look at those bowling figures after this ball. Just driven back to Malla. 6 bowlers used so far. Remember, 6 overs Sandeep Lamachani still has. Sushant Bari and Kushal Malla will both have bowled 5 at the end of this one. I think Gyanendra Malla, the Nepali captain, just trying to get as many overs as he can out of these 2 left-arm spinners. In this middle period, nicely worked into the leg side, just going to be a single. Yeah, tell me what you think. What's your thoughts on Nosh Kenjige coming up the order? Or indeed, now we've got the audio up, do send in your questions and comments to me at Cricket Badge on Twitter or Instagram. I'll get to all of those. Start coming to them when a seamer comes back on, maybe after the 30th over. Where do you think the game is right now? Are America ahead of the game, or is it Nepal? Andrew Leonard here in the commentary box for the moment. I will have some company later in the afternoon, let's hope. Just still working off the one mic at the moment. Yeah, nice fluent innings this from Patel, isn't it? And a good start to Kenjige, promoted up the order. Highest he has ever batted in any form of cricket for the United States. It's so interesting because there's so much batting to come. You think of Jaskaran Malhotra's innings of 173 not out. American fans might be screaming as to why he's not in yet as we get to the halfway stage. So it's the halfway stage of the first innings. USA winning the toss, choosing to bat first. And they are 106 for 3. So Kenjige is going to continue to run hard between the wickets. He's looking to come back for a second, won't be able to get there. Yeah, lots of theories coming in as to why Kenjige might have been promoted up the order. Certainly is one of the fittest players in this side himself, and Kareem Agor. Outstanding fitness levels. It is really hot. Maybe getting him in to push the 1s and 2s around with Madank Patel before Malhotra will look to go big in the last 10 or 20. It's a lovely shot through the offside, and Kenjige so quick into his work. He wants to come back for 2, but Patel sends him back. Thought there would have been time for a second there. Slower through the air and nicely driven down the ground. That's going to tie his career high, believe it or not. He is in at number 5, but it's a real surprise. He's never batted this high for America before. Nepal just possibly flagging in the heated touch. They could be looking to get some energy into their fielding. Or maybe they're happy with their position. What do you think there watching at home? USA going right around 4 and over, just a little in advance of that, 4.25 at the moment. Patel comes down the ground using his feet. Not a huge amount of turn on offer for Sushant Bari. You can see that there. Just skidding on as much as anything. Patel moves to right within touching distance now of a 50. You can see, I think Kenjige has been sent out to run a lot of singles and 2s. 26 overs gone. USA 110 for 3. So will be Kushal Malla to continue in tandem with his left arm spin partner. You can see Patel looking to get down the track consistently. We'll try and change that angle for you, bring it from behind the bowler's arm. You can see it's really just drift and angle that Kushal Malla relies upon. No real turn at all, just skidding on if anything. But yeah, after a very long wait, we have got the return of this ICC Cricket World Cup League 2, supported by Dream 11. And we're delighted to have you along. And that's going to be a career best for Nosh Kenjige. Believe it or not, hasn't batted a huge amount in ODI cricket, just 4 innings so far. But he really has looked quite comfortable to start with, so maybe this tactic from the Americans, trying to hold back their power hitters, those power hitters, particularly Jaskaran Malhotra and Elmore Hutchinson, who can just hit the ball to all parts. Even their mishits can clear the rope. Perhaps a shrewd little move, this, from Jagadish Arun Kumar. Down the leg side will be signalled wide. Yeah, Arun Kumar, the new American head coach, replacing the interim head coach. That was James Pamment, the Mumbai Indians fielding coach. He did the role for a few months for the last 2 Cricket World Cup League 2 series. But Arun Kumar, 46 years of age now. He used to play his first class cricket there in Karnataka, Bangalore. The wonderful Chinnaswamy Stadium. Indeed, he was playing in the first year of that IPL as well, part of that Royal Challengers Bangalore setup. Fine first-class record as well, more than 7,000 runs, average over 40. He's taking the reins and he's making a real impact with this American side, who've been impressive last week. 2 wins for them over Papua New Guinea, just like Nepal. This game, right in the balance. Don't go anywhere. 27 overs gone, 115 for 3. Yeah, beautiful scenes at the Oman Cricket Academy. We're at the ground, the oval number 1 here, which will be the ground that will host the T20 World Cup group stages next month. See the brand new big screen as well, probably about 40 foot in diameter. And just speaking of Lamachani, just wondering when he might come back into the attack. We're going to see one spinner replace another one, as Lamachani, who has 6 overs left, will maybe be licking his lips at the prospect of bowling to Nosh Kenjige. Starts with a leg break, and Kenjige plays that nicely into the offside. We'll move into double figures for the first time in ODI cricket. Which is exactly what Patel does, and Patel does really well. So just 3 singles coming from the return of Lamachani. He's halfway through his 10 over allocation. He's got 1 for 15. USA 118 for 3. Kenjige gets that cut shot away straight to the man at deep extra cover. Kushal Mala's continued throughout his spell into his 7th over now. Youngster just bowled with nice control, really slow through the air, noticeably slower than Lamachani. Just happy to toss it up, isn't he? Look at that. Patel down the track, meets it on the half volley. Gets it through for a single. I think America perhaps just trying to build a platform here, wondering how deep they can take this game. Can they see off Lamachani before going on the real attack? We've seen the power that they possess. Good work from Kushal Mala, just gets a right hand out. Good batting from Kenjige. It's been a nice little innings this. 13 off 22. He's just knocked it around. And that's all that USA have needed at the moment. You can see the tactic. The tactic is to hold back their power hitters. And Manak Patel looks to do a bit of power hitting himself, and he does. He gets it all the way for 6. Good quick foot movement. Kushal Mala has just been floating them up there, tempting and teasing the American batsman. And finally Patel says enough's enough. I'm going to come down the track and I'm going to hit him straight and flat as well. A real flat 6 from Manak Patel. That's good batting. It went just to the left of the American team tent. And that's going to get them going with a nice boundary 6 all the way. USA will be pleased with their position. Dan van Bunga of the Netherlands. It was followed up just a few months later by Yuvraj Singh off Stuart Broad at the T20 World Cup, that inaugural event in 2007 in South Africa. And then we had a 14-year gap. It didn't happen for a long time, and just like a London bus, two have come along in the course of a couple of months. Kyron Pollard did it off the off-spin of Akila Dhananjaya of Sri Lanka. As Malhotra gets the slog sweep out, it comes off an under edge, will just be a single. And then the record-setting scenes here last week at this very ground. The first ever international match under floodlights. Was talking to the Oman cricket chairman Pankaj Kimji this morning about that, how happy he was for the historic moment to have been marked with something that the cricketing world will never forget. Malhotra smashing 6 almighty sixes off the 50th and final over of the innings. Gaudi Toka, the unfortunate bowler. Just his second bowl in international cricket. Probably a day he's never going to forget either, but for Malhotra it's been a whirlwind. Really has. Messages from all over the world. I believe he's going to be on CNN tomorrow night back in America talking about the feat. 31 overs gone. It's 131 for 4. Beautifully bowled. That's the leg break. And look at the drift. So the drift into the right-hander and the bit of angle from Lamachani as well. And then it finds the outside edge. But Patel's played that a long way forward. First slip, he's quite deep. But Lamachani is causing problems. I think USA fans will just be counting these balls down. 3.4 overs left for him. 22 deliveries left in his spell. That's the googly again. Sharp turn. You can almost see it in the grip, can't you, in the preparation coming up to the crease. And the reason it's so difficult to play, there might be a little bit of a change in the wrist position, but no huge change in action. And most importantly, it's bowled at the same speed, the same trajectory. So you can't pick up it going slower through the air. Leg break this time, so 2 leg breaks, 2 googlies, and lots of dots. Doing a great job for his team. He's going to want more wickets, but he's keeping things very, very tight. 10 consecutive dots he's bowled now. Finally gonna break that string of 10 dots, and nice moment there between Patel and Lamachani. Yeah, I think Patel's probably going to look to anchor this innings now, try and bat through. No doubt Malhotra will try to provide the fireworks, but will he try to provide it off the bowling of Lamachani, or will he be more watchful? He's going to heave that one into the leg side. Little agricultural, but gets it away for a single. He'll keep the strike. 32 overs gone now. USA 133 for 4. So Kushal Malla could well continue unchanged from this, the pavilion end of the ground. Just bowled really slow, tempting left arm spin, hasn't he? Down the track, good use of the feet and brilliant work. Diving stop from Rohit Paudel. Gets across quickly to his left, cuts off what would have been a certain single. Driven down the ground. That's nice from Patel. USA probably be looking to target up towards 250. They still are going to be cautious with those 3 remaining overs of Lamachani. You can see it's a definite tactic, isn't it? Try to hold back the real pyrotechnics, the real blitz, till the very end of the innings. For the moment, Patel and Malhotra are happy to survive with dots and singles. Keep those wickets in hand. And some aggression this time. Hit down the ground, and it's going to dissect the 2 men in the deep. Going to wait for the signal. Looked very close indeed to going all the way for 6, but I think it's probably going to be a 1 bounce 4. Really good batting from Patel because he hasn't got near that, but he's just played through the line. It is indeed signalled as a 4. That'll close out the 33rd over. Patel continues to prosper. USA advance. Does get it down the ground for a boundary. That's the bowling card so far. Just 3 overs from Sampal Kami up the top. That was a surprise to me. He looked to be bowling a very, very nice rhythm indeed. Might look to get the seamer back on sooner rather than later, but the key number here is that number next to Sandeep Lamachani. 7 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 17. But it means he's only got 18 deliveries left. And is this going to be the ball game here? The challenge, the battle between Lamachani and Malhotra. Who's going to win out? Back-to-back googlies, but nicely watched on the back foot from Malhotra. Clearly picked out of the hand. Getting a big cheer just for that single from the USA team bench. That stars and stripes flag flying proudly. And singles continue to come, and what this will do is it will just increase any impatience that Lamachani might have. We know he loves taking wickets. Can he stay patient? Will they hold back 2 of his overs? Googly again, and almost a little bit of frustration now for the first time from Lamachani. Just wipes his hands on the wicket. Dries off any sweat. Temperature not getting any lower, really. 36 degrees now. Quicker through the air, well bowled. Good finish from Lamachani. He does have 1 ball left, in fact. Which I think USA right now will consider this a win. If they can just keep him out, 13 balls remain. That's how much of an asset, how much of a weapon he is for this Nepal side. Finish with a beautiful leg break. Drifting in, turning away, and you can see Malhotra shaping that angle. So 34 gone. Lamachani, though, he's only got 2 left. USA 1-4, 2 for 4. So I thought we may see the return of some seamers, but Kushal Malla is going to continue. He'll bowl his 10th and final over, bowling his spell through unchanged from the pavilion end. And he's going to be dispatched down the ground. That's a lovely shot, straight as a die. Just a couple of bounces on the outfield. Good use of the feet from Patel. Set it right at the start of his innings. Probably the finest American player of spin in this starting opponent. Look at this. Straight to the pitch of the ball, no turn on offer. Low risk cricket from Mayank Patel, gets rewarded with another boundary. Follows it up with a single down the ground. It's been a fine knock, this, from Mayank Patel. Really impressive stuff. Cut away, but straight to the fielder from Malhotra. Just wonder, are we going to see some fireworks here? Only 3 deliveries remain for Kushal Malla. Will Malhotra look to go big? He'll just be happy to shovel it into the leg side for a single. That's out to Bikram Saab. Lovely to see the Cricket World Cup League 2 branded stumps back in action. It's been a long wait, hasn't it? 579 days, remarkably. Good use of the feet again, but just well held back through the air by Malla. 1 ball remains in his spell. The youngster will see his pair hitting later in the game, potentially as well. Really dynamic left-handed striker of the ball. Flatter through the air. I didn't think he was going to toss that one up, and that's going to close out his spell. It's been a nice spell of left arm spin, just the 1 wicket to his name. And the clapping mainly coming from the USA team, because 150's come up after exactly 35 overs. Let's take a quick look at Kushal Malla's spell. 10 overs for him, no maidens, 1 for 45. Did find the solitary wicket. That was bowling, clean bowling. Nisarg Patel, who looked to go back and play the cut shot. And we are going to see the return of seam, so we'll see Lamachani held back, because it is going to be, I think, Sampal Kami back into the attack. That's surely got to be a good move. Look at these bowling figures here as Malhotra just gets the helmet, gets a tap of the gloves from his partner as well. Still 7 overs for Sampal Kami to work with. But Lamachani taken out of the attack, and I think again America will find that that's a win for them. 8 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 19, the pick of the bowlers. But when he's taken 16 wickets in his last 3 ODI appearances, just 1 wicket for him, and remember that 1 wicket came in his first over. That'll be pleasing for USA. So Sampal Kami returns, and Malhotra just punches him down the ground for 1. We saw Malhotra sparkling through his innings. He was dropped a couple of times. In fact, I think it was 4 times in total, but dropped certainly 3 times before he got to the 100 landmark. But we did see him take his time at points through the innings before just unleashing a barrage of shot making. 16 sixes, the second most in one-day international history. Hit through the air at a catchable height, but straight in between the 2 fielders on the offside in the circle. out to deep cover. And I think that's what Nepal fans will be worrying about right now, because they'll have seen the clips, they'll have seen the footage of those 6-6s that has gone viral all the way around the world. 4 million views now. I think it's over 4 million, in fact, of that Malhotra blitz. But they will know what he's capable of. Athletic efforts from Sampal Kami and a big smile. He's almost never not smiling, is he, Sampal Kami? If you're a young cricketer there somewhere in not too many cricketers that you would like to idolise more than Sampal Kami. He plays the game with a great spirit, great energy, and a great attitude. Change in the field. 2 men behind square on the offside now. And Patel will respond by punching it into the leg side. So just 3 fielders on the leg side for Patel. Bit of a tactic, that. Fine leg in the circle. Deep square leg and a quite wide long on. So 6 on the offside for both. Malhotra, in fact, now a change in the field because mid-wicket will come into place and that backward point will move to cover. That's exactly where the ball goes, to mid-wicket. Kami runs his hands through his hair. Thought that he was right in the game there, didn't he? So USA's run rate just has hovered in between that 4 and 5 and over throughout. The innings and continues to do so. We get to the end of the 36th over. USA 155 for 4. So with that, we're going to reach the drinks break, and USA 155 for 4. We'll bring the match summary up on screen. We'll take a break here in the commentary box. I'll be back with you with the final third of this first innings of the return of Cricket World Cup League 2, supported by Dream 11. Do stay with us for all the action. What will USA be looking to post? Can they get up towards something around 250? Could be quite competitive if so. USA 155 for 4 after 36. So welcome back after the second drinks break. We'll just bring those graphics down off your screen. And the sun's starting to set across the ground. The shadows are lengthening. Floodlights will probably kick in around an hour's time. Sushan Bari it is back into the attack and into his 7th over. You see the umpire just come scuttling across to square leg, deciding that backward point is no good. Probably standing over there because of the low sun. Hit down the ground. There's a fielder down there. And it's going to carry. What a catch that is. That's magnificent from Kushal Bertel. He's clung on just inches from the turf and he's taken the big wicket. And that big wicket of Jaskaran Malhotra, who's gone for 11. Malhotra can't quite believe it. He's almost hit it too well. I don't think he was looking to power it down the ground for 6. It was up and into the slot. And the change in bowling for Nepal has worked thanks to a majestic, a magnificent catch from Kushal Bertel. Sprinted in, dived forward and clung on just inches from the turf. Was definitely a clean catch. I'm going to see if we can bring you the replay of that. Probably the catch of the series so far, no doubt about that. And possibly a game-changing moment because it's all the 5s now on screen. 155 for 5 and it's going to be the debutant to the wicket, young Sanjay Krishnamurthy. But yeah, no fortune this time for Jaskaran Malhotra. He's gone for 11 from 21 deliveries. USA 155 for 5 now. So Mayank Patel will be on strike with the batsman having crossed. Thanks to that spectacular catch. Really was. Not sure if our cameraman managed to track that, but he sprinted in, probably 10 yards in from long off. Clung on just inches above the turf, and the game has changed again. So often we see the drinks break bringing about a wicket, and it's done exactly that. A dot ball followed up by a wicket. Patel will get through for the single this time. It's going to bring Sanjay Krishnamurthy onto strike. In down at number 7, the right-handed batsman. Remarkable story because just a couple of days ago he was sitting at home in California. Wakes up to a WhatsApp message that asks him, is he available to get on a plane as soon as possible? And now here he is making his debut in one-day international cricket, his senior men's debut for USA at 18 years of age, the 3rd youngest debutant in USA limited overs history. Greg Soodle and Stephen Taylor started younger. Thank you to Peter Della Penna of ESPN Cricinfo for that stat. As we get to the end of the 37th over, USA 156 for 5. So USA just in a little bit of danger here of losing the attempted momentum. They've clearly gone out with a tactic against Nepal and against Sandeep Lamachani, and that tactic is to try and see off the superstar leg spinner. You can understand that, but the big thing they need to capitalise late in the innings now. And the loss of Jaskaran Malhotra is not going to help that momentum. They have a debutant in at number 7. In good form, though, in minor league cricket for the East Bay Blazers, one of the 27 sides in that inaugural season of the minor league cricket championship there in the United States of America. Lots of big things happening with the game over there in the States. An ambitious foundational plan that is looking to establish USA as a full member of the ICC by 2030. Talks of a comeback appearance back into the Olympics for cricket, with the ICC's 106 member nations unified behind the goal of Olympic cricket, making their intentions clear to bid for the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028. Really is exciting times for the game in the land of opportunity. And Krishnamurthy gets off the mark in international cricket. He won't have a duck to start with. Very nearly. Bit of confusion for the second time. Patel's running between the wickets has been a little bit mixed at best, to be honest. Already run out his partner Nastush Kenjige, who was promoted up the order to number 5, and there fair old mix-up with the debutant, but he's off the mark safely. Patel continues to look fluent in his batting. Good work off his own bowling by Sampal Kami. Cuts off any chance of the single. But for USA, you can see at the bottom of your screen there, their run rate, I think it's down as low as it's been throughout this innings now. 4.19, 4.18 in fact. And that will just provide a little concern, just as they should be looking to accelerate well north of 220. They're going to need to start finding the boundary rope with a bit more frequency. Patel will get a single to close out the 38th over. 12 remain. USA 159 for 5. Patel looks so comfortable when he uses his feet down the track again, this time to Sushambari. Gets it through for the single. Don't think that will be the concern for Patel. He'll continue along his merry way. Need to find some boundaries though. Those boundaries, remember there is power hitting to come. Both Kareem Agor and particularly Elmore Hutchinson can hit a huge ball. Probably see them in at 8 and 9. But every dot now just a big win for Nepal. They're looking to close out this innings. They'll have 2 more overs of Lamachani to work with. Just the 1 wicket for him so far today. Very pleasing shot again down the ground. Both these 2 batsmen comfortable using their feet. Very confident. But for Patel, doesn't necessarily have a big power hitting game on top of his touch game that we've seen throughout this innings. half an appeal, but strikes him well outside the line of off stump. So with only 11 overs left after this one, USA just going to need to take a bit of a check as to where they're at in their innings and what they're targeting. Should be time to get through for a single despite good work from Karen KC. So Patel will keep the strike. He's moved in to the brink of the 80s. 79 now for him. USA 162 for 5. So swing and a miss from Patel outside the off stump. Kami's going to continue. Lots of options for Nepal to close out these remaining 10 overs. I'll just give you a quick flash of that bowling card. 6 bowlers used. Only Kushal Malla bowled out. So Lamachani will certainly bowl his 2. You'd have to think Sampal Kami likely to bowl his 5, including this one. Well, the uppercut's going to go down towards third man, where Asif Sheikh is going to put it down. What a drop. What a moment in the match that was. He made good ground across to his left. He didn't have the sun to deal with. The sun is over his left shoulder, and it has to be said that that should have been taken. It was the attempted uppercut from Patel. Made really good ground across to his left, and he's ended up slightly overrunning it, if anything. Got 2 hands to it, but the catch goes down. Big, big moment in the match. Patel is alive. Dropped on 79 by Asif Sheikh. Oh, that's a magnificent shot for a young debutant. Not going to have the power to run away for 4. Thought it did at first, but takes the aerial route. Just a clip off the legs from Krishnamurthy. Only fielder in the deep on the leg side. Well, 2, in fact. Deep backward square leg and a fine leg, so no risk hitting down the ground in the air. 2 runs, a nice punch for Krishnamurthy. Good batting. Should be time for Krishnamurthy to think of a second, and I think he wanted 2, but Patel definitely suffering the effects of the heat now. He's really just walked that single. No intention of getting back for a second. He'll be happy to have the strike. Oppressively hot conditions. Even though it's 10 past 5 local time, the mercury continues right up towards 100 Fahrenheit, 37 Celsius. Patel more confident down the ground. Just one ball remains of the second power play before we enter the third power play, where Nepal will be allowed 5 fielders outside the circle. What do you think USA will be targeting from their remaining 10 overs? Get in touch. Send me a tweet or an Instagram direct message at Cricket Badge. You're going to get to those now in the last 10 overs of this first innings. It comes off the under edge. I think a bit of a slower ball bouncer. So 10 overs remain. Get in touch at Cricket Badge on Twitter or Instagram. We'll read your comments and questions out now. With 10 overs remaining, USA 167 for 5. Game very nicely poised. So a bit of a drag down from Sushambari. Just worked into the deep to that one extra fielder that's allowed outside the circle now, because we're into the third power play. So getting to your comments, going to have a chat through these. Thanks as always for keeping me company. Tell me where you're watching from. Remember, if you do send in a message. First comment coming from Ronez Thapa. He's watching on from Nepal. I think he's watching on Action Sports HD. Looks like quite a good batting wicket. What are your thoughts on this, Andrew? I think generally the batting wickets here are pretty good. We saw some low scores last week, but I don't think that was as a consequence of the wickets. I think that was a little bit of inexperience in terms of the amount of international cricket that the sides have been playing. PNG's batting in particular a real struggle, but hard to say what a par score might be. Lots of messages coming in here now. Next one coming from Rajmi Adash. It's Krishnamurthy just struggling to get off strike here, 3 consecutive dots. He's asking me, what do you think Nepal should focus on to be a test nation? And should the investments be in the better development of cricket academies, or how will it work? Well, I think if you look at the path that both Ireland and Afghanistan took to test status and full membership of the ICC, there's a whole number of considerations, including the development of those academies that you're referring to. If you're talking about performances on the pitch as well, you've got to beat a certain number of full member nations to even get in the mix and start to qualify for those world events, which Nepal and both USA and Nepal will be looking to do more and more regularly. USA's foundational plan setting out that goal for full membership by 2030. More questions coming in. Cameron Stevenson watching on from Australia, who is of course part of the United States tour. I think he was really enjoying Nosh Kenjige up at number 5. The more content from him, the better. Next one from Bishal Kulal, asking me, we have seen so much of technically correct Nepali batsmen, even though they couldn't show us the temperament to score big. What do you think? I'll tell you after this, because Sandeep Lamachani is back into the attack. 2 overs remain for him. And the attempted drive from Patel is going to run behind square on the offside. Get back for a second. Again, I think Krishnamurthy would have been happy to go for a third. But Bishal, to answer your question there on Twitter, to me, at Cricket Badge, I think the technical correctness and the quality of the Nepali batsmen is not in doubt. I think the amount of exposure that they're getting to higher quality bowlers on better pitches, that probably needs to be more and more international cricket needed. Good stuff from Patel, this. He is going to expose the debutant, though, to Lamachani. And what a story this is. Just a week ago, this young man, the 18-year-old, was going to sleep, and he had absolutely no idea that he might be about to get a call up for America. Gets a WhatsApp message coming through. And he's asked, can he get in a plane as soon as possible? 7 hours later, there he was. Now he's facing Sandeep Lamachani. He starts with a leg break. Hard hands from Krishnamurthy. Problem for USA, they're going to want wickets. Or they're going to want runs, excuse me. And Nepal are going to want wickets, but they're going to want runs late in this innings. They've only 5 wickets left, and Lamachani's on the hunt. Googly picked up. That's a superb shot. He's only fresh off a plane, and he's dispatched Sandeep Lamachani into the leg side for a maximum. The adventure of youth wasn't altogether that poor a delivery from Lamachani on the leg side. It was definitely the googly, and obviously picked out of the hand by young Sanjay Krishnamurthy. Moment he won't ever forget. He's just smashed Sandeep Lamachani for an almighty 6. And work to be done to go and find it. Questions coming in from all over the world. Look at this one. Sushil Gamar. Hi Andrew, he says, loving your commentary. Thank you, Sushil. Nepali fan from New Zealand watching on live on ICC.tv. It is 1:15 in the morning. Tell me, Sushil, will you be watching the entire game? Will you still be up in 3 or 4 hours? Which way is this game going? Great to hear people watching all over the world. And Krishnamurthy follows up the 6 with a single down the ground. And don't think Lamachani altogether too happy with that. Definitely looking for wickets. But he's got 7 balls left. And USA's run rate just starting to rise again with that maximum. What do you think they're targeting down? Can they get up towards 250, or is that going to be too big an ask for Nepal to chase? What do I think that has impacted Nepal's bowling so much? Well, I presume you mean what's impacted it in the positive. It's been a good disciplined bowling attack. Standout, of course, Lamachani, 1 for 29 for him. Good stuff too from Sushant Bari in support. And he's going to continue, Sushant Bari. But you have to remember that if we look at the bowling figures here quickly, there are going to be some overs of seam as well. So it'll be 2 overs remaining of spin, 1 from Lamachani and 1 from Sushant Bari. But I think it'll be the remaining overs that USA will look to attack. As Patel can only pick out the man in the ring. You can probably hear those noises of construction all around us. That's the construction continuing ahead of the T20 World Cup that'll be here next month. Yeah, really sincere thanks to you all for getting in touch in such large numbers. I'm trying to keep up with them, but they are flooding in from all around the world. Shows how many people we've got watching here on ICC.tv. Samrat Maharjan with the next question. As Krishnamurthy comes down the track, he's looked really assured on the international debut. He's asking me, what do you think? USA batsmen batted better or Nepal's bowling below par today? Wouldn't say necessarily either. I think Nepal have bowled quite well. USA have clearly gone out with the game plan. And that's going to be a rather tame end to a promising debut for Sanjay Krishnamurthy. I think he was looking for the slog sweep to get some elevation into the vacant area behind square on the leg side, but just come onto him a little quicker than I think he anticipated. And all he's ended up doing is scooping the simplest of catches to Karan KC. More success for the Nepali bowlers. A second wicket for Sushant Bari from his second last delivery. And a debut that was full of promise is going to end on a very unlucky 13. Unlucky for some, unlucky for Krishnamurthy. He's gone for 13, the new man to the crease. That's Elmore Hutchinson. And wait till you see the power that this man possesses, 39 years of age. More questions coming in. Lots of American fans now coming online, waking up. Tell me where you're watching from. Jay Gaddy's saying that this certainly beats the 35 we scored the last time against Nepal. You're spot on. It's beaten it by a big way. And I think, joking aside, there will be some relief in the American camp. There will have been, no doubt, some demons bowled out for that world record equaling low 18 months ago. And Mike saying how glad he is watching on at 5:30 a.m. from Wisconsin. That Willow TV have picked up the stream as well. Indeed, they have. So Elmore Hutchinson to the crease. He's got Sushant Bari with just 1 delivery left. And then a full over of Sandeep Lamachani to deal with as well. And Hutchinson will just keep that out. So 7 overs left. Mayank Patel, 86 not out. USA 180 for 6. So it's a slightly strange looking batting card for the USA. Every single one of their batsmen has made double figures, But nobody, with the exception of Madank Patel, has made more than 21, so a number of starts. But if they can get through these 6 balls of Lamachani, they'll have 6 overs to go large from. And they're not going to wait for the 6 overs of Lamachani, or 6 balls of Lamachani to end. They're going to go at Lamachani, inside out over extra cover. That's a lovely aerial shot from Madank Patel. Just one bounce, it runs away for 4. Really clever batting. He's clearly picked Lamachani out of his hand all day today. Follows it up with the googly, and Patel definitely thinking about 2, but it's going to be risk here for Hutchinson. Hutchinson has to bat smartly here. 4 balls left for Lamachani. 34 wickets for Lamachani already in his ODI career. It's come in short time as well. Discussing with a few fans online as to whether or not he might be the fastest ever to 50 ODI wickets. He's got 34 and 13. And he's hunting out another one. Fastest in history, I believe, 19 matches. So he's dismissed Elmore Hutchinson for a duck. A 4th ball duck for him. And the new man's going to have 1 more ball of Lamachani to deal with. More questions coming in. This one from Shashandri, watching via Action Sports HD from Kathmandu. He's asking me, Kushal Bertel from Nepal didn't really perform that well in the first 2 games against PNG. How do you think he will do in the series ahead? Give him time, Shashandri. Great young talent, that man. 24 years old. Sparkled on his T20I debut. His first 5 matches. Early in his ODI career, just 2 appearances so far. So Kareem Agor all the way down at number 9. He's got 1 ball to keep out from Lamachani. And keep it out he will. He'll get off the mark, in fact, working it into the leg side. So that's going to close out Lamachani's spell. Let's take a look at his figures. Ten overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 35. Very fine spell of bowling. You could see he was really on the hunt for wickets all the way throughout that spell. And he has left this game, I've said it a few times today, right in the balance. Because I don't think Nepal are going to be wanting to chase north of 220, 230. But they've been given a chance by their star leg spinner. Muted celebrations, no doubt. But USA have 6 overs left. Madank Patel in the 90s. Be hunting down what would only be the 2nd ever international century by an American batsman after the maiden one, the spectacular maiden one from Jaskaran Malhotra. And it's going to be Bikram Saab with a change of ends, coming in now from the pavilion end as the sun creeps ever lower towards the Muscat Mountains. More questions coming in. Shashwat Pathak telling me he's watching on at 11:25 local time in Australia. And he's saying he feels like Nepal should have placed a more attacking field earlier, especially with the seamers. Any thoughts on that? Interesting point. Certainly, they did pick up the wicket of Stephen Taylor with a 2nd slip that stayed in. I felt possibly a bit defensive for the spinners. When I say the spinners, I mean particularly Kushal Malla and Sushant Bharti. No slip in place for Malla throughout his spell. So Saab will be just trying to close out this innings, maybe not necessarily hunting down the 3 wickets, but just trying to keep things tight. Mayank Patel will be hunting down a maiden 100. And he's going to move closer to that mark. A short ball dispatched dismissively by Patel. No real pace from Saab. A bit of a long hop, really. And the corner is not out, so it's a free hit into the leg side. Gets it away for 4. More questions coming in. This one from Mausam Kadka, also watching on from Australia. Lots of people staying up late into the wee hours. Asking, given the departure of Paris Kadka and the arrival of youngsters, where do I see Nepali cricket in the next 5 to 10 years? Well, I personally see a really bright future for Nepali cricket. I think the job that Dav Watmore has done over the course of the last 12 months or so should fill every Nepali fan with real hope. Talented group of youngsters as Mayank Patel moves to 96. And that should see them rising up the rankings. Another one from watching on from Australia. Big numbers in Australia, the Nepali community there. It's 11:20 p.m. in Sydney, says Ashim Pakarel. Me and my wife are enjoying the live match with your commentary. We're supporting our country, Nepal. We hope to keep USA to 225. Will that be chaseable? I reckon 225 is right about par, my friend. I think if USA end up with 225, we're going to have a thriller of a match in store. Nepal's bowling certainly the stronger suit of its 2 options. Next one from Prat Yaksha, who's watching on from Kathmandu. Will the chase be easier under lights? Not too sure, to be honest. I think from the 2 ODIs we saw this week, the side batting first under lights, both were won by the side batting first. So perhaps a slight advantage. Worked down the ground by Gore for a single. Next question coming from Milan Dakel as we get to the end of the 45th over. 5 overs remain, 193 for 7. He's watching from Thailand on ICC.tv. Great to hear from you, Milan. What do you think Nepal can do to chase down a score of 200 plus? Good question. I think they're going to have to bat strongly, maybe pace at least one of their innings at the top of the order, a bit like Mayank Patel is here. It's been really nicely timed. 96 he has from 110 deliveries. With the exception of that 1 drop chance down at third man, it's been really fluent, almost faultless stuff. And yeah, some worried Nepal fans messaging in, wondering whether or not they're going to be able to chase down a big total. Cut away, good stop, but it's only half a stop from Sushant Bari, who's a backward point. So Kareem Agor really quick between the wickets. Wait till you see him in the second innings in the field. He's an absolute dynamo. And the flood now starting to light up this magnificent Oman Cricket Academy ground. It's a good half stop from Sushant Bari. I suspect if he didn't get a hand to it, that could have run away for 4. It's the extra pace of Kami to deal with. Not a lot of Karen KC we've seen today. Keep those questions coming. Jitan Limbu, who's watching on from Copenhagen, Denmark, on ICC.tv. He says he loves cricket. Cricket is everything to him. What target should be chaseable for Nepal, and who do I think the favourites are to win this tri-series? I genuinely think, and I'm not just saying this, Jitan, these are 3 really evenly matched sides. Slower ball bouncer from Sampal Kami. Just worked behind square for a single. I think USA are improving. I think their new head coach has instilled them with a fresh belief and a fresh atmosphere and vibrancy. I think Nepal continue to be on the rise. You could maybe make an argument they might be a slightly stronger T20 side than ODI side, but you could also make the same case for Oman. Top of the table, very good ODI side, not as good a T20 side, so the contrary, in fact, to Nepal. Swing and a miss from Kareem Agor. And also you have to remember that it's not just who'll win this tri-series as such. There's no prize to winning this tri-series. The prize is points on the Cricket World Cup League 2 table. So if you could play all four and win all four, you'll get 8 points. If Oman could do that, they'd really stretch out and extend their lead at the top of the table. But if USA or Nepal could do that, they'll close the gap. USA currently in second, but they played more games than any of their rivals. And USA really need a late boost. They need to start finding some boundaries. Simple question, the next one from Rudri Kadka. Who do I think will win today's game? USA or Nepal? I'm afraid, I'm sorry, Rudri, I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to sit on the fence and say I don't know, because I think we could be in for a very tightly fought game. If USA finish with around 220 to 230, which looks likely, that's right about par, I reckon. Patel moves to 98 and he will keep the strike. 4 overs remain. USA 198 for 7. Let's take a look at the batting card. So the floodlights taking full effect. You can see them there in the background, but the sun has not yet peaked behind the hills. Questions flooding in on Twitter. Great to hear from all of you. Manoj Gautam asking why there is no review system for even runouts in this match in the previous series. So we have a 3-camera stream today, like we have for all of the ICC Pathway events. This is part of a deal that's going to see 540 games live streamed around the world on icc.tv and fan code in the Indian subcontinent. And you can't have run-out cameras with just 3. Not possible, as Patel is going to move to the brink of 100. Is he going to come back? He's going to get there. The second man to do it. In the blue and red of America, he points to the sky. Clearly signals up to someone in the heavens. He kisses his bat. He says, that's for you. That's a beautiful moment. It's the second ever ODI century made by an American, coming just days after the devastating knock from Jaskaran Malhotra. But the day so far belongs to Mayank Patel. He's made 100, coming from 113 deliveries. It's been a really fluent innings. It's been an impressive knock, one of the highest quality. And he's given his side a real chance here. They move past the 200 mark at the same time. 9 fours and 1 6. And now he can really open the shoulders. Good running from Gore to get him back to that 100. A magnificent knock this from Mayank Patel. And he's going to open the shoulders now, but it's come off the toe end of the bat down to Kushal Bertel, who takes a very simple catch. He can't quite believe he's given it away. You could hear the thud. It was a very deep noise. Didn't get it out of the middle. It just came off the toe. And because it's come off, only been able to pick out long off. So it's going to be 100 and gone for Mayank Patel. Gone on exactly that score. Kushal Bertel takes a simple catch, much, much easier than the stunning one he took to dismiss Jaskaran Malhotra in the same position, but take nothing away from the innings. For the second time, an American batsman has made a century in international cricket, in either ODI or T20I cricket, that is. And it's 100 off 113 balls. Let's see if we can bring you him walking off, cut away to the other camera and show the ovation he's getting from his teammates. We won't be able to bring that to you, unfortunately. Locked on to this one. So Abhishek Paradkar in all the way down at number 10. He'll be at the non-strikers and Karim Agor on strike. And these late wickets are just helping Nepal, bringing them into the game. Cut away. That's going to be runs. Tested the outfield, but surely it's just going to come up short. Really good example there of just how long the outfield is, and they're going to get back for a third. Great thinking from Karim Agor. The throw was just aimlessly thrown into the sky, right in between the keeper and the bowler, and the two men in the deep were just sleeping a bit out on the rope. Dav Watmore, the Nepal head coach, won't be happy with that. 21 deliveries remain now. What can USA get up to? 220, 230. Need to be careful with their wickets as well. It's going to be too wide outside the off stump from Bikram Saab. A bit of a test this for Bikram Saab at the death, because he's been so good with the new ball in his initial appearances in ODI cricket here this week for Nepal at the Oman Cricket Academy ground, but a very different test at the death of the innings. Doesn't have the express pace, and looks like Gyanendra is not wanting to go back to Karen KC right now. Has proved expensive today. So what do you think USA can get up to? What do you think? Who's ahead of the game right now? Lovely messages coming in now from Manank Patel online. Jay Gaddy's saying, Manank Patel, welcome to the @USA Cricket 100 Club. Spot on. Only two men in that. Last week there was nobody in it. Jaskaran Malhotra and Manank Patel with centuries. Oh, that's a powerful pull shot. Really good pickup from Karim Agor. And this is what I'm saying. Bikram Saab does not have the pace to be digging it in that short and not be punished, even by Agor, who's a long way down the order at number 9. He's a much better quality batter than that. You've got to remember, the Kenjige experiment at number 5 has meant he slid down the order. Gore will follow up the boundary with a single, and I think he wanted that single. He wants the strike. He wants to show what he can do with the bat. A good little cameo this. He moves to 15. 3 overs remain. USA 2-11 for 8. Got to keep reading out your comments. This is a particularly nice one from Guru at Cricket Badge. No matter the result of this game, it's very heartwarming to see the performance of USA. Despite their lack of 50 over in international cricket in recent times, I presume you're referring to the 35 all-out as well 18 months ago. And he says a big thank you to @ICC for the live coverage, upwards and onwards. And indeed, brilliant to be bringing you these games. They're going to be all the way around the world in the T20 World Cup and the Cricket World Cup pathway events. That's both men's and women's. All the regional events, and then these global events like Cricket World Cup League 2. About 540 games, I believe it is, in total that ICC will be bringing with his partnership with IMG. And Sampal Kami is going to continue. He's got the extra pace to work with at the death. We'll see a lot of slower balls as well. You can see he's bowling almost everything into the surface. Doesn't want to get too full and get punished down the ground. Talk about the global game that cricket is. Messages coming on from everywhere. Bimal Pradhan watching on from Moscow in Russia. Very good afternoon to you. He asked, do I think if USA will be disappointed with this total? Yeah, good question. Hard to say. Probably right around where they would have been hoping for. With the start that they got, perhaps they might have been looking for more like the 250 marker. But with some late blows here, maybe they can still challenge up to 235, 250. So many people watching on from Australia. This one coming from Basu Dev Powdell, watching from Canberra. He thinks that USA have batted smart by changing the strike, taking singles and doubles, and the outfield is pretty slow in his opinion. You are right, Baz, absolutely. And he thinks that Nepal are going to need to do the same to chase the target. We're in for the thriller. I fully agree with you on that front as well. Thanks for the kind message. Another one here watching on from Bremen in Germany. It's from Jazwisi Adakari. Sorry for the pronunciation, mate. Hopefully that was close enough. Regards from Bremen, Germany. You can answer this question maybe when Nepal is answering or chasing the target. I'll answer it now. How will the Nepali batting cope without their legend of Paras Khadka that he's gone, and how crucial was he for Nepalese cricket? We all know the impact he had. Slower ball from directed is close and given. Kareem Agor can't quite believe it. He thought he was home, but magnificent work from square leg, and that's a big moment in the match because just one more wicket remains in the hutch. Kareem Agor is rapid between the wickets, but he was right crease. Worked it to the leg side, called immediately yes. And look at this, a clean pick up and throw. Just didn't quite see who that was, but the umpire had no hesitation from square on. It looked very close indeed, but he hasn't got home. And that is a big, big moment because with just one wicket left, Gore was looking so fluent. He's run out for 16. Caught short by a fantastic throw from backward square leg. I'll find out who the fielder is now in a moment. And it's going to bring the Team USA captain, Captain America, to the crease. That's Sarav Netravalkar. Sandeep Lamachani with the throw. I was just a bit missighted because the sun is creeping so low. Paradkar will be on strike. The batsman having crossed. Get that into the offside for what should be at least a single. And Netravalkar doesn't want a second. So all these late runs are going to be critical, but equally the late wickets. A real chance now for Nepal to bowl USA out short of their 50 overs, and you wouldn't have thought that with Sandeep Lamachani only taking 2 wickets. But a couple of run-outs have really been costly for USA. One of them very unnecessary, that of Nosh Kenjige. But equally, Kareem Agor there, not really sliding his bat. Big swing and a miss from Sarav Netravalkar. 12 deliveries remain in this innings. USA 214 for 9. Going to keep trying to get through all your messages that are flooding in their hundreds. Manoj Shetri just saying he's watching on from Kalapani in Lipulek, Nepal, through the Action Sports HD network. He's really enjoying the coverage. Thank you. These are coming into me at Cricket Badge. These ones on Instagram, of course. Janardaran Pokharel. He's from Ratuhat, Nepal, and he's asking a question. In your point of view, which Nepal batsman is going to be the best suited for this Omani pitch? Good question. We saw Rohit Paudel bat so well. Kushal Mala's looked in good form. Big fan personally of Asif Sheikh. His technique is practically flawless. Really impressive batsman, but going to need someone to bat through the way that Mayank Patel did for USA. Paradkar's facing Karen KC now, not going to risk Bikram Saab for another over. KC's been expensive today, none for 34 from his 4 overs coming into this. Another message now from Sahitya Bhattarai asking about Dav Watmore's resignation. Who do I think should coach Nepal after this series? Well, I can tell you one thing for certain, Sahitya, that Dav Watmore is going to be missed. Not just missed by Nepali cricket, but I think missed by associate cricket. Cutaway won't travel out to the deep cover fielder, will just be a single. Yeah, going to be interesting to see who takes that role. Going to be a critical role as well. They're going to have to build on the success that Watmore has had. Just from spending a good bit of time around the Nepali side, it's a very happy camp when Watmore is around. They, to be honest, they adore him, absolutely adore. A little bit of talk of maybe the former head coach, Pabudu Dasanayake, who's the ex-USA head coach, of course. Maybe someone like Dougie Brown did a brilliant job there with the UAE. I'm not too sure who might be in the mix, but it will be a good job, whoever gets it. They'll have a great group of players to work with. Slower ball, you could see it there from that side-on position right into the block hole as well. Another man who's always smiling, Karen KC. Kushal Carroll's asking me what do I think about the bowling of the debutant Bikram Saab. Not the debutant, it's his 3rd one-day international today. 2 wickets today again. Took a wicket with his very first ball in ODI cricket. Experienced bowler. He looks like a bowler. He'd be really well suited to the red ball game as well. Pull shot, well hit by Netravalkar. And despite the slow outfield, that's going to get away for a boundary. Karen KC looked to surprise the USA captain by freshening him up with a short one. But it was the perfect hook shot kept along the ground by Netravalkar, who will get it away for a crucial boundary. Every run is going to be so critical. Next question from Adish, who's watching on, Adish Paudel from Kathmandu on Action Sport HD. My question is, what is the reason for the unsuccessful opening stand of Kushal Bertel and Asif Sheikh? Well, I think they've actually been highly successful so far. Adish, been really good in the T20 format. And yes, they might have not put on a huge partnership in the second ODI, but they put on 46 in the opening game. And the 2 players are batters of huge quality. Next one coming in from Rajesh Chauhan, watching from Dubai. To win today's match against USA, Nepal shouldn't waste a single ball and keep the score going to be able to beat a target of what he thinks will be 225. You might be right in and around the money right there. Nabin Sharma asking me what total can Nepal chase down. Another slower ball. Looks a bit like a knuckleball to me from Karen KC, just worked away for a single. Yeah, good question, not too sure. 1 over to go. I don't think they're going to want any more than this sort of 221 for 9 that they have. If USA can find maybe 1 or 2 boundaries in the final over, they'll be pretty pleased with 230, 235. That's the big screen here. Begale watching on from Australia, another one from Australia. So many in Australia tuning into the ICC.tv coverage. And he just says that Lamachani is an absolute beauty. And I couldn't agree more with you on that. Mithun Kunwar is asking me, well, he's actually making more of a statement. He thinks that Sandeep is going to miss the chance of being 4 consecutive Players of the Match awards to equal Saurav Ganguly. Don't rule him out just yet. He still has to bat. If he could make 40 or 50 not out to go with that 2 for 35, maybe he could still win Player of the Match. But certainly Monank Patel is in a good position right now. Abhishek Karate asking me, should Kushal Bertel play his aggressive game, attacking game from the start? Yeah, he should. An attacking shot down the ground from Paradkar, but Netravalkar will not get back for a second. More questions coming in from all over the world. Can't quite get over how many people are watching on from Australia. Hundreds of questions from Australia. This from Rabin Thapa in Sydney, watching along on ICC.tv. He thinks that the outfield is on the slower side. It is. I think that's a fair statement. And do I reckon is 230 a par score? It probably is again. No real timing from Netravalkar. He was looking for the big hoik into the leg side, and Sampal Kami's just a bit quicker than you'd think as we move off the double Nelson to 2-2-3 for 9. Next one from Ayush Baral saying, Andrew, loving your commentary. Thank you, Ayush. Do you think that Nepal will survive the Oman bowling attack? Well, that will be tomorrow. Oman versus Nepal. Oman have a fearsome bowling attack. One of the fastest in the associate game. I'm sure they'll be well up to the challenge. Looks for the scoop shot. No contact made by Paradkar. The reason he's looking for that shot, fine leg up in the circle. But I just wonder, is Paradkar better targeting cow corner? No man out there with third man back. 2 balls, in fact 3 balls remain. Excuse me. Manshuv Bujel asking me, how long have I been following the Nepal cricket team? For as long as I can remember, really, mate. And that's where I said he should target, and target he has. High and handsome. The biggest 6 of the day. It clatters onto the roof of the groundsman's hut. Why try and scoop it over your shoulder when you can stand there and smash it out of the ground? That's brilliant batting. The biggest 6 of the day. What a strike. Mr. Abhishek Paradkar right into the slot. The slower ball was picked up. That's not where it went. It kept going out into the leg side. It's cleared the boundary, the biggest boundary that is, by probably 20-25 yards. And the break in play is because we've got a groundsman up on the roof of the groundsman's shed trying to find the ball. And found it he has. It gets thrown in. That's a big moment. That's going to give USA some momentum going in. But yeah, to answer your question, I've been following all associate cricketers and associate cricket in general for as long as I can remember. Love the development of the game, love the sport. Let's keep growing our game around the world. Nepal, they're brilliant to watch, a joy to watch. 2 balls left. Right into the block hole. Good comeback from Kami, finds the Yorker. So Paradkar can only get it away for a single, but a good late contribution from him. Really am trying to keep up with those messages, but they're just flooding in. Watching on from Chitwan, what do you think the impact of Paris's absence will be on high run chases? So many questions about Paris Kadka. Shows just how loved he was. Last ball, a big swing and a miss, and they're not even going to be able to run the single. So a dot ball to close it out from Sampal Kami. 9 runs coming from the final over. USA are going to have to be happy with 230. It's a score of 230 that's been made predominantly thanks to a magnificent century. A century coming from the bat of Monank Patel. Second man ever to make an ODI 100, or in fact any ODI or T20I 100 for the USA. But I feel right there that that could be something absolutely around par. Maybe USA will have felt that they should have got up to 240, 250. But equally, they needed those late runs from Karima Gore and Paradkar to get them up to that 230 mark. It was a really interesting innings, an innings that ebbed and flowed, and wickets seemed to continue to fall throughout. Let's take a look at the cards. As the floodlights really coming into full effect, the sun has just taken its bow for the day, gone down behind the mountains. And Mayank Patel, 100 for him from 114 deliveries. But look at that, with the exception of Elmore Hutchinson's duck and the 6 not out from Sarav Netravalkar, every single one of the American batsmen made double figures. And I think that will be the small takeaway for the new head coach, Jagadish Arunkumar. He'll have been wanting his batsmen to kick on a bit better. But a great knock, don't take anything away from Mayank Patel. He was dropped once, but a magnificent century. A day that he will never forget. And there's the Nepal bowling figures. Just the 5 overs for Karen KC, probably the big surprise. And spin is going to play a big part this week. 30 overs of spin bowled. Sandeep Lamachani, Sushant Bari and Kushal Malla. Probably the pick of the bowlers for me, Sandeep Lamachani. 2 for 35 for him. But 2 wickets as well for Sushant Bari. He was nice and tight. No joy for either Sampal Kami or Karen KC. A good team effort from the Nepali bowling outfit. But what that means at the halfway stage of this, the return of the ICC Cricket World Cup League 2, supported by Dream 11, means that USA are going to finish with 230 for 9. And Nepal are going to need 231 to win. We could be in for a thrilling chase. We'll be back with you with all the action in a little over, probably about 30 minutes time. We'll come back then. Can Nepal do it? Can they chase it down? Come back with us on ICC.tv, Fan Code or Action Sports HD or Willow in North America to find out. We'll bring you every ball of the chase.